What's up, guys? Today I've got another creepy TikTok for you guys lined up. Today we're looking at the Antarctica and the hidden worlds beneath our surface. If it's true, that's for you to decide. Check it out.
There's another one that actually escaped from captivity,
Yo.
but he actually convinced his interpreter or his interrogator to help him escape because the program was trying to get him to open a portal for them, and they wanted control of it. And the guy eventually, the interrogator actually pushed him into the portal and had surreptitiously given him back to his own home world. And it ended that guy's career probably.
A portal?
Yeah.
And what kind of portal are we talking about?
You're talking like it's kind of like a way of opening a wormhole that you can control.
And did they say where this thing was accomplished and how?
I think it was also in reticuli. I think it was another being from the reticuli system.
Right, but the portal. Where's this portal? How is it accomplished?
The portal, I thought, I was trying to think, it sounded like it might have been on the Pacific Northwest or the West Coast area is where this was taking place.
And did they say how the portal was made? Was this made by them?
They had recovered parts of one, and they were trying to complete it, and they were trying to get this being to help them complete the portal so that they could use it for their advantage.
Like a Stargate.
Yeah.
Like a real Stargate.
Correct. Yeah.
He convinced his interpreter that if he didn't get back and if he didn't get home, really bad things were going to happen. And that guy just kind of felt like, hey, I got kids and whatever.
Right. I don't want society to destroy.
Right.
Plus, he had some compassion for him.
Yeah.
Because he's been working with him for a while.
Yeah. So when he got the chance, he was just like, get him in there.
I can't remember all the things. I think they had to keep this entity tied to a chair or something so he couldn't do anything. And that's why he needed the help of the guy that was the interpreter. He had to push him into the portal on the chair that he was tied to.
Yeah.
The treaty stated, the aliens would not interfere in our affairs and we would not interfere in theirs. We were particularly interested that they do not interfere with anything that would affect our future. We would keep their presence on Earth a secret. They would furnish us with advanced technology and would help us in our technological development. They would not make any treaty with any other Earth nation. They could abduct humans on a limited and periodic basis for the purpose of medical examination and monitoring of our development with the stipulation that the humans would not be harmed, would be returned to their point of abduction, that the humans would have no memory of the event, and that the alien nation would furnish MJ-12 with a list of all human contacts and abductees on a regularly scheduled basis. It was agreed that each nation would receive the ambassador of the other for as long as the treaty remained in force. It was further agreed that the alien nation and the United States would exchange 16 personnel each to the other with the purpose of learning each of the other. The alien guests would remain on Earth and the human guests would travel to the alien point of origin for a specified period of time, then return.
They have age regression technology. What this consciousness does on this planet is it inverts everything. It twists, it flips it on its head so that you don't really know what's going on. Inversion is one of the key things that it does. Everybody on this planet is in amnesia. So this vampiric consciousness that's here, that's in control of it, are coming here with memories. They're coming down here with memories. It's a holographic, very, very, very real video game where they came down and they had the rule books and all the cheats, and we were left and scattered across the planet with nothing. So they're holding the cheat book. They have the cheat book. So they're coming here with previous memories of lifetimes. They want to blur the lines of everything so that there's confusion. And so I think I said before, like one of their mottos, Masonic mottos, is Ordo ad Chaos, which is order out of chaos. And so what they want to do is create literally as much chaos by blurring the lines of everything, whether it's sexuality or whatever, so that then they can implement their new world systems.
I highly believe that these Masonic people, they have knowledge far beyond that we can comprehend. It's hidden, very ancient knowledge, but they won't share it with the world because obviously it can have an effect on all of us, and it can change our mindset and how we perceive life. But wouldn't that be nice to know all that knowledge, to gain that knowledge, but use it for good instead of for bad? You understand?
Ruled out. The governor says he can't get a straight answer out of anybody.
I want to get the answers. And wasn't getting up, be candid with you. Wasn't getting.
Noticed why we didn't know about people. Those places were big groups. We didn't do it.
Somebody please translate that. What did that last part say? Because that's quite interesting. I would like to know what was written there.
Possibly more of an observation, but I'm interested to hear all of your thoughts. We are all very lucky that we are across the channel and we are the far side of Europe. But Ukraine is actually much closer than all of us think.
The record, page 55 from the committee's interview with FBI employee Roya Demlo, who you just spoke about, which took place on July 17, 2023. In that line, she says, the question was asked, okay, if someone were to leave here today,
Look at the lady at the back.
this interview and were to suggest
She's literally saying every word for word while this woman is speaking.
that it meant that the FBI had affirmatively determined in October 2020 that the laptop belonged to Hunter Biden.
I mean, one of the things I've learned in my tenure in the Senate is that a nominee saying that they're willing to work with me amounts to exactly zero. We need to get this fixed. Thank you.
They're here, probably the most shocking truth about aliens video I ever witnessed, the Antarctica.
96 season, my crew was doing a lot of back and forth to pole. Mainly it was cargo resupply, personnel exchanges. That season, prior to us doing missions, we were told by some of our officers that if we saw something flying, that we weren't supposed to say anything.
Oh, so you knew that people were already warning about, but you had not seen.
Right. So somewhere around December, we were flying a mission from McMurdo, and my loadmaster in the back, he gets on the intercom on the ICS and he says, hey, there's something off to the left here kind of shimmering. So I went up to the flight deck and I'm looking out the big windows and I see these little disc-shaped objects. There was probably 4 or 5 of them, and they were, at first, when I first saw them, they were just stationary over one mountain peak. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking at them and one of them takes off by itself and flies at incredible speed to the next mountaintop and stops. And then another one in the group takes off and heads toward where the first one went.
What did the pilot say?
That was kind of funny. My pilot gets on the intercom and he kind of jokingly goes, well, all I can tell you is they're not ours. Not ours? What are you talking about?
And it kept happening.
Yeah, so it happened at least 2 other times.
Brian feels that it is really important that the world know that there is something that is going on in Antarctica.
To the discovery that cosmic rays are emanating from the frozen continent. As far as ancient astronaut theorists are concerned, Antarctica is not only hiding secrets about current extraterrestrial activities, they believe there is much more to be learned by examining incredible new discoveries deep underground. In the 21st century, satellite photography has allowed anyone with an internet connection to access images of Antarctica. In 2016, a striking image was discovered of a seemingly man-made entrance carved into an Antarctic mountain range.
This is a legitimate satellite image of a very large, proportionate hole in the ground, or the mountain range. This looks intelligently designed to suit a specific craft that flies through this particular opening.
Similarly, in 2018, Internet researchers released the coordinates for what they describe as a UFO crash-landed on the Antarctic island of South Georgia.
The photographs are really compelling because this is not somebody making believe something is there. You can actually see the skid marks. It actually looks as though an object is moving along that ice. But the thing that so intrigued people looking at those images were that the skid marks were straight.
Some ancient astronaut theorists have noted that the shape of the alleged craft is very similar to a mysterious celestial object that was detected entering our solar system in October 2017. Called Oumuamua, the object was initially identified as an asteroid, but its shape, trajectory, and acceleration were so unexpected that the chair of Harvard's astronomy department, Avi Loeb, suggested that Oumuamua might be an alien probe.
It's a very curious image of this large, oblong, tubular-shaped craft that seems to have crashed into the ice and then skidded along. And it really looks like this interstellar asteroid, Oumuamua, that could easily be a spacecraft.
The actual craft itself is right around 50 yards in length. This is the wider view of this object that quite possibly came in at an angle, ricocheted off of the base of this mountain, and that's what gave it the momentum to skid several thousands of feet. You can definitely see the mountain. There's some disturbance here where this track leads back to from this unidentified object. This very well could be a crash landing based off of what we're seeing at the bottom of the mountain, yes.
Is it possible that online researchers using satellite technology actually located the crashed remnants of an extraterrestrial vehicle and the opening to an underground alien base? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and point to shocking disclosures from those on the ground that validate these claims. When investigative journalist Linda Moulton Howe interviewed a former Navy flight engineer going by the name of Brian in 2019, he revealed a very curious no-fly zone he came upon during his service in Antarctica. According to Brian, sometime around October 1985, an emergency call had come into McMurdo Dispatch.
They got a medevac call, and it was from the Davis camp, which was Australia on the far side of East Antarctica. It was a real emergency, and they had a long flight.
A scientist at Davis Camp was gravely injured by a boiler explosion and needed immediate medical attention. Including a fuel pit stop at the South Pole, Brian's evacuation crew was 6 hours away from the critically injured patient. But they had standing orders to avoid flying over a so-called air sampling station that was on the most direct route.
So we were given orders to deviate. I believe it was 30-mile deviation away from the air sampling.
What if I told you there's a continent that exists outside the parameters of our sun? A place of eternal night, where an entire civilization lives in absolute darkness. Welcome to Panthea.
Where the hell is that?
Thousands of miles beyond the ice wall. Look, these people aren't cavemen. They're a fully functioning civilization, but one built without warmth, without mercy, without the distractions of color and joy. The Panthean capital, Nixara, is a sprawling city built from black stone and bioluminescent crystal, its buildings towering like jagged monoliths into the sky.
This can't be real, man.
I wish it weren't. The Pantheons themselves are far more terrifying. They're a horrific biological offshoot of humanity, a version of us that evolved to survive in total darkness. Pale-skinned, almost translucent. Their eyes and bone density are about 5 times larger than the average human. Sickest part is they have energy harvesting farms. They survive off their own.
Man, ain't that some interesting stuff right there? Oh, I would love to go to Antarctica.
Let me tell you something. 48 years of study, I'm going to give you a secret. Nothing in this world is what you think it is. Government does not work the way you think it does. Religion is a corporation, especially in the Western world. All religions operate under maritime admiralty law. Maritime admiralty is the law of water. There are only two things on the earth, land and water. So there are two kinds of law, the law of the land and the law of water. The law of the land is the custom of the people who live on a particular piece of land. So the law of the land is different in every country.
Okay, got it.
But there is also a far more important law on the earth. It's called the law of the water. And that law is referred to in courts as maritime admiralty.
What are some of those laws that we're not aware of?
Oh, my goodness. When you walk into a courtroom, why do you go to court? You play basketball on a court. You play tennis on a court.
Right.
Yeah, how do you play tennis on a court? You play with a racket. Come on. And so when the judge walks out, he rules from the bench. Right? Look it up in a Latin dictionary. The word bench is a bank in Latin. And so the judge is ruling for the bank. That's why he wears a black robe, because the black robe represents the planet Saturn, the god of banking and law, who in the ancient world was called Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
Well, he is Lord of the Rings.
Right, there's rings.
And so women were told in the ancient world to listen to their god, so they would wear an ear ring. Men were to get married before their god, so they wear a wedding ring, because Saturn was Lord of the Rings.
Antarctica is a place that's completely isolated. Think about it, right? All the oceans of the world, the Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, they meet around Antarctica, and it's sort of hidden away from all the other continents of the planet to the extent that we did not discover it until like the 1800s, except of course it's on a few anomalous maps. The Piri Reis map and the Orontius Phineas map and so on and so forth. In our modern Western civilization, we didn't find the damn continent until the 1800s.
Did they think it was safer there?
If they were time travelers, they needed to isolate themselves from the timeline. If you were coming from the year 2200 or the year 3500, and for whatever reason you needed to reach back into the deep past of humanity, let's say Earth suffers some horrendous cataclysm, or let's say they fought a war with an enemy that vanquished them, and their only retreat was backwards in time, to hide in time. You might be motivated by some kind of, noble intention not to mess with the human timeline to the extent that you can avoid it, and initially, you might decide to quarantine yourself to a place where you're not going to be
some
observed
interesting
by the
facts
other
right there.
evolving societies on Earth. And Antarctica would be the ideal place from which to do that on this planet. So I think under that ice in Antarctica, we're going to find the jackpot. It's not going to be like these scattered megalithic sites. We're going to find cities under those ice sheets.
What are they trying to tell us?
What the hell, dog? Nah, nigga, what the fuck is going on?
Are those drones, or what are they? And someone's been trying to tell us something, if it is drones. Because why put that message of all messages you can write?
There had, in fact, been
Think about it.
face-to-face meetings between United States officials and extraterrestrials from other star systems. There's one species that looks something like a praying mantis. And then the short grays are the ones that you see in the cartoons. The tall grays look much different. They look more like humans. And the Nordic blondes, for example, are so similar to humans that they can walk down the street and not be detected. They are way ahead of us in medicine, agriculture, and still, I guess, presumably in technology. We have bases here. They're afraid that we're going to blow up our planet so that it would be uninhabitable, both for ourselves and for visits from them. And they didn't like that idea. UFOs are as real as the airplanes flying over your head.
February 14th, 2025. It could be the day everything changes. And the most unsettling part? The Simpsons already predicted it. In a little-remembered episode, The Simpsons show a shocking scene. A character eerily similar to Donald Trump lies in a coffin, surrounded by political figures in complete silence. The strange part? A clock in the background shows 2:14, a reference many interpret as February 14th. Now, in reality, Trump remains a key and polarizing figure. Political tensions continue to rise, and some believe something big is about to happen. There are even theories linking this date to dark historical events that always seem to occur in February. Do you think The Simpsons really predicted Trump's fate? Comment 14F if you believe there's something more behind this date.
You're telling me Ice Age, the movie, told us about the ice wall.
I mean, look, I thought it was pretty obvious personally, but look, pay attention. They're all kind of just contained inside this massive ice wall, this barrier, right? And they believe that the valley they live in is the only place that exists.
My God.
Starting to make sense? Okay, this is a visual representation of the Great Barrier of Confinement, right? It's an exact parallel of the ice wall that we commonly speak of, that we speculate lies on the outskirts of our lands.
It can't be. They put it right in our faces. We are those animals. We're Sid.
Analogically speaking, yes. But where it really gets disrespectful, right? Look at the final installment of the series, okay? Ice Age Collision Course. Oh, wow, right? All of a sudden this franchise is about outer space? I mean, look, they're literally walking your psyche through the same layers of subtle manipulation that go back to the beginning of times, knowing that you'll never consciously pick up on it, right? Just mixing in the truth with the lie. I mean, look at that. Show you the globe, show you the ice wall, just totally confuse the mind.
I just don't know, man.
That's exactly the point.
I found this crazy video on the Bird app, and what it's showing is a giant wall of ice under Antarctica. And this wall of ice seems to be going to the very bottom of the ocean, but also running underneath the sand. I do wonder why this video is not more public than it should be. You know, you figure they find these giant walls that all of science would know. And by the way, look at the color of this so-called wall of ice. It looks very similar to something that's above our head. And in coming across that video, it reminded me a ton of Admiral Byrd's expedition to Antarctica and the footage we have of that, which most people aren't even aware of. The only way you even come across is if you looked really heavily into it. But there was like crazy tall ice that they had to literally do a high jump to get onto. I'm gonna fast forward right now because they literally had hundreds of miles of just a giant wall of ice. I wonder why we're not taught about this stuff in geography.
Makes a point. He has a point, sorry. He has a point.
Called the firmament. Think about this. Why did almost every ancient civilization describe a flat earth under a dome? Look at the Bible. Genesis says, God made the firmament and divided the waters above from the waters below. If you zoom in on stars with a powerful camera, they don't look like distant balls of fire. They shimmer like they're underwater.
Ancient Egyptians knew that the small, pea-sized gland inside our brains, called the pineal gland, was the key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe and allowing us to directly connect to universal consciousness. Take a look at the image. On the left is the ancient Egyptian symbol, the Eye of Horus, and on the right is the pineal gland. Notice the similarity? Once you activate this gland, you'll be able to effortlessly create wealth, find your soulmate, find your life's true purpose, and much more. Today, I have decided to create a short presentation where I will show you a simple 30-second ritual you can do right now, in the comfort of your own home, to activate this gland, and this video explains exactly how to do it. Click on the link below this video and access the free presentation.
Justin? Is that you? Why do you look so upset? And why are those pants so big? I hope everything's okay with Justin. He's been in this industry for a long time, and sometimes it could take a toll on you. I'm a big Justin Bieber fan. He's been through a lot these past years. You know, in HW, there's no limit to what you could go through. Justin, what's up? You look confused. You look lost, like you don't know where you're going. Somebody check on Justin Bieber, please. I know there's a lot going on with the situation with that other guy. Take that. You know what I'm talking about. Why do you look so upset? I'm used to seeing Justin Bieber happy. Bro, who is you ice grilling? Whoever's seeing this that knows Justin Bieber, please check on him. Make sure he's okay. Wow, what a difference. This is the Justin Bieber that I know. Getting all the ladies, dropping hit records. We miss you, bro. I hope you get back to this because Justin Bieber's just not looking the same. He's not even walking the same. He's wearing baggier clothes and he looks upset. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I just hope that Justin Bieber's okay. I'm just concerned about his well-being. I'm gonna try to reach out to him myself. I gotta go.
Man, Justin is cool. I always used to like his videos and his music. But yeah, it looks like he's on a little some, you know? You never know, or it's just stress. You know, stress can wear you out, people. It can make you seem much older. And that's constantly how you look, depressed. So yeah, don't think that someone's rich, that someone's he has a happy life, fulfilled life. No, there's much more to life than this. But one thing you always need in your life is God. You need to walk this thing called life. You need to walk it with God by your side.
You said that you were going to cut aid from South Africa. Will you plan to cut aid across other African nations, and why South Africa?
No, it's only South Africa. Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
And on the bed.
This is the only proof we have of time travel, and it's absolutely terrifying. In 1923, archaeologists uncovered a sealed tomb in Egypt. Inside, they found something that defied logic. A photograph dated 1987. It showed a man in modern clothing standing in front of the tomb, holding a camera. The man was identified as Elon Huck, a scientist who vanished in 1987 while working on a top-secret government project called Kronos. The project's goal? To unlock time travel. But it was shut down after Huck disappeared without a trace. The photograph had a chilling message scrawled on the back. I tried to stop it, but the loop is inevitable. Years later, in 1980, another photograph surfaced. This one showed Elon Huck, now decades older, standing in front of the same tomb. The date on the photo? 2025. Experts were stunned. How could a man exist in 3 different timelines? And what did he mean by the loop is inevitable? The final clue was found in Huck's 1987 lab notes. He wrote, "Time isn't linear, it's a loop, and I'm trapped in it." But here's the twist. In 2023, a team of researchers decided to open the tomb again. Inside, they found a camera, the same one from the photographs. When they developed the film, it showed a picture of them, standing in the tomb, dated 2045.
You were speaking about parallel universes.
Right. It's 7 of them.
How do they exist? I mean, how do we know there's parallel universes?
All right. Is that chair you sitting on solid?
Yeah.
It's an atom. That's not solid.
It's 0.99999% solid, so it's not solid. It's moving, but you can't go through it yet unless you vibrate right. If you vibrate right, you'll go through that floor. You don't get it. We live in a magic world. The world's not real. When you sleep and when you awake, it's the same. But only thing when you come in this world, you get your taste. And in your other world, you don't get your taste. That's another universe too. I can control it. And you can too. Well, you do control it, you just don't know it yet.
Boom! That's another one for the books, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow, same time, same place with another one. Just